Okay, I want to show the self-centering clamp on the AS2001, or this is an AS1001, and how the wheel is with respect to the wheel thickness. And this type of machine, it has a self-centering clamp, so if you put a blade in here and tighten this down, the jaws move in like this. So it doesn't matter if it's a 3mm blade or a 4mm blade. 3mm is hockey, 4mm generally for figure skating. And so there's a question somebody had on one of the other videos asking about the alignment on this. It's done at the factory, but I just want to explain what's going on. If you put a blade in here like this, you tighten it down, both of the jaws are moving with respect to this carriage. So if you're an observer, if you want to talk about mechanisms, engineering, if you're standing on this platform, you see the blade come in, this jaw moves in and this jaw moves in, and there's tooling balls underneath this to set the blade. You tighten this down. There's the pivot point, the center of the blade roughly. So when I tighten this knob over here, the jaw on this side and this side move in and clamp the blade. So I drop this in here and clamp it. Now if I turn the machine on and go through and dress this wheel over here, this is the grinding disc with the diamond back and forth here. It's going to dress this with respect to this diamond, and the diamond is connected to the carriage. So for clarity, I'm going to show you what another diamond cutter looks like. It goes and revolves back and forth like this, and the diamond comes through here like this, sticks out of this, it cuts the wheel down here. So if you put a blade in here and then you go back and forth and you cut the radius of hollow on this disc, if you move this over here and you redress it, it's still going to be tied where the bulge is in the disc is going to be tied to this carriage. So the way they do this at the factory is they put a blade in, they cut a radius of hollow, and then they cut a blade and then they look to see if the edges are equal. And this actual cutter on this thing is actually slotted. So at the factory they move this thing back and forth. They'll move either this way or this way so that they get this, the disc is lined up to the blade. So this is really the thickness of the wheel. This is not really used to adjust this wheel thickness on the self-centering. Now if you had a machine that's off before the factory repairs it, you could put a blade in here, cut the radius of hollow. If the edges are off, you can tweak this over a little bit, the wheel thickness knob. But if you redress this wheel, you're going to have to move it again, because this cutter is tied to the wheel here. And let me just show you something for clarity. So the cutter here, you shouldn't do this, but this is actually slotted, and that's on the self-centering machine. So if I take this off and this off, this is what the factory does. This piece over here is slotted. And I'll show you that just in a second. Okay, this is the carriage it moves, and the diamond is connected to the carriage. But this is actually a slot through here. It's not a through hole, it's not pinned. So the diamond cutter here that's moved back and forth is cutting this wheel. And at the factory, they go through and they move that back and forth. They grind a disc and they check it out to see if the edges are high or low. And then this is moved back and forth. It's probably got to be within about probably a couple tenths of a millimeter to get it on the money, but it's got a good bit of play. So for clarity, if you go through and if you grind the radius of hollow to this disc, it really doesn't matter where this disc is, because every time you grind this, it's going to go put the same equator on here, if that makes any sense. If you move the disc this way and you regrind it, it's still going to put it on the same spot with respect to the carriage. So that's why the wheel thickness knob over there does have an impact, but as soon as you go through and grind the wheel, it's going to put it back the same spot. So if you buy a unit that's used or somebody's goofed it up, you're going to have to go ahead and either have the factory do this or do it yourself. And it's not something that's really documented, so that's why I want to show this. So you really don't want to do this, you're going to screw it all up, but this can go back and forth probably a couple millimeters. So if I push this all the way in this way and cut this disc, you're going to find the bulge, the equator is more this way. Now let me see if I can find a diagram here. Let's say this is the disc here. Let me zoom back out here. Let's say this is the disc. And this cutting wheel, let's say it's pushed way over. Let me see what we can do here. Back this off some. Let's say that I've got this piece pushed that way. If you cut this disc, it's going to go ahead and move it like over here, because the center point of this is moved over. If you go ahead and push it this way, it's going to be cutting over here. But what it's doing is, when I say this bulge here on this disc is going to move with the cutter like this. So if you go ahead and you cut something, then you move the wheel, you're going to move the wheel over, it's still going to cut it, so it's going to move where this is on the wheel, but it's not going to affect it with respect to this. So that's why there's some of the confusion on the internet about this. So for clarity on here, what they do is they put a blade in, they put this in the center, tighten it down, then they cut this. And they back off the blade. They're going to measure with one edge is high or low. They probably do that with the fixture. If it's off, they're going to go ahead and move this just a little bit over, retighten it to do it again. And then this self-centering feature is preserved. But on a used unit, you're going to get something that somebody's played with. And so that's what goes on. So back over here, this wheel thickness that's on here, if you've cut this and it's off and you're just like, you don't have time to do it, you can go ahead and move the wheel over and correct this. But that's all, you're gonna, every time you redress this, you've kind of lost where you are. If you set this to 0 and you trim the wheel, one edge is slightly off, if you figure out where it's got to be, that's how much it's off on the how much this is actually off. So I probably got you all confused on that. But the self-centering feature over here, it's got a big knob on here. And Prosharp patented the self-centering, I think, on the original Skate Pal, like about 25 or 30 years ago. It's got both jaws that come in. Now the older units that are non-AS, let me zoom out here, they're a different animal, because one end is fixed and the other one is moves in. And that particular one over here on this knob, let's go look at the knob. The knob that's down in there is actually calibrated in the thickness of the blade. And that's on the non-self-centering one. So down here on this knob, whoops, there's actually the thickness of the blade, like 3mm, 3.1, 3.2 on this knob. And that's on the non-self-centering units. And what that one would do is you'd measure the blade, and then you would go ahead and set this wheel here after you've dressed it. And then it would compensate for the clamp not be self-centering. So the whole adjustments are different. Now in the wheel thickness over here on the 2001 that's used for profiling, you put a thicker wheel down in here. I think it's 8mm thick instead of 6. And that's so you can go ahead and do 2 blades at once. Because each blade is 3mm, 3 and 3 is 6, so you need more than 6mm. I believe it's 8mm. So you put a thicker blade and thicker wheel in here on the AS2001 to do 2 blades at once. Here's the radius of hollow setting over here. And that way that works is that where you put this, you're moving this point with respect to the rotation of the wheel, which is here. The way the geometry works out creates the radius of hollow on this disc. So it probably totally confused you. Now these dots here, sometimes I'll call it profiling. What that does, the AS2001 here is not a profiling machine, but the dots are really the range of motion that you can cut on here. So if you got a small pair of skates and you want to just do one section of it, that's what the limit of the dots are here on this for the travel. And that bolts on there like that. There's a set of, right down in here, there's a set of tooling points that go through. I don't have this pulled back all the way, but that's what references on the blade here. And let me just see if I can show the self-centering a little bit better. Let me zoom in here. I'm tightening up the clamp. So the confusion on this is the way this knob, the purpose of this knob is different on the self-centering than the non-self-centering versions. And the factory is the one that normally adjusts the diamond with respect to the carriage. So this diamond piece is fixed to the carriage. Carriage goes back and forth. So the only thing that determines where the bulge is where this point is when it's not rotated over, but when it's straight this way. That point with respect to the center of the blade down here. So the factory probably, to get it close, they probably have a tool that goes in here like this, and they align it to the diamond without the wheel in place. You drop this down is what I would do, which means if I put this in here like this, put a blade in here, maybe a real long blade, then I can see where the blade is with respect to the diamond to get it close. Normally on that should never have to be adjusted. So, because some of these units are used and people have screwed around with it, I think that's what happened. So the factory is the one that normally adjusts the diamond here with respect to the carriage to get the self-centering mechanism. And that's on the AS2001 SC Again, the self-centering model you identify has this knob in the back that clamps this from both sides. So way out here is like for a 4mm blade for like figures, and then like this is 3 and it clamps it down. The way this works is it's pulling this fold. Let's see what's going on. It's actually pulling it this way, and then these actually have a slotted mechanism in and out that goes through and pulls this in, and that's what closes it. This is you're in trouble, you can hit the button here to shut it off. This is the dressing. And I believe this is the number of dots here. That's what this is. I think I screwed up a second ago. This is the dressing wheel function. You got to get the wheel in one spot to dress the wheel. Then over here on the side, you've got the serial number. Then there's a vacuum. I believe some of them have a port for a vacuum. To switch the vacuum on and off, you want to use a vacuum is what that's about.